Hi, intrepid viewers. I'm still here in Australia. It's countdown now, a few days to go. So I'll do one more video after this for you. And don't worry, the videos are going to keep coming. So I will not be leaving you. Just take comfort in that. And I hope you enjoy the trip. Now, it appears there's huge floods in Greece, where I'm going first. But hopefully that'll sort out in the next 5 days or so. And if not, you know what? I don't really care. If I have to swim around Athens, I will. Okay. So that's just how it is. Now, let's dive in because, as always, there's a massive amount. Now, the Trump stuff is piling up. You now can't see over the pile of caca that this man has got himself into. So, look, apart from Truth Social, and he owes 300 million to investors, apart from selling his own mugshot and all of that, Letitia James is saying in New York that the original case, which talked about a figure of $2.2 billion that he allegedly, at this point, that he inflated the value of his properties and deflated them in other contexts and stuff. And she's now saying that's the tip of the iceberg. But before we get to Letitia, let's just write that down. How much do we love Fani Willis and her smackdown of Jim Jordan? So in case you missed it, and even if you saw it, let's rejoice in it again. So he was waffling on as he does, talking absolute crapola. And she got back on social media, I think it was, saying, excuse me, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll just remind you, you failed the bar exam, right? But I do recommend this book, but you'll have to pay the full price because you failed your bar exam. So she just went, shh. And wouldn't you see more of that stuff? I want to see more of this clapping back. When these people behave badly, smack them and pop them back in the box and put the lid on. Yeah, more of it. Thanks, Fani. So we're going to just dive in and have a look at Letitia. From her point of view, how does she feel these cases are going? So we'll look at Letitia and see what's going on with the New York cases. His New York cases. You've got to divide them up, don't you? Okay. New York. Ooh, let's go. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, what's on the bottom? Oh, the universe having a little laugh. There's the tower. Okay. Ta-da. All right. So because he's got the attention span of a caterpillar, I'm sure he's not every day sitting at his desk of destiny, crunching the situation of this case, that case, that case. I don't think he thinks like that. But this case in New York is becoming a burden for him. Okay. At the end of the day, he's a New Yorker, and no one wants to be told you're not welcome in your own town. And we all know that New York has been outspoken about not voting for the man, so he was already unwelcome. But this is becoming more of a burden. It's becoming more of a threat to the good life. And in fact, this is interesting to me because she can't send anyone to jail. Shame about that. But she can issue huge fines and she can stop him operating again. So the obstacle for him going forward is being able to maintain the good life. Okay, I think Letitia and her team of prosecutors, I think they can see the end now, because the problem with the Yetis cases is there's so much criminality and so little time to track it all down, and having to constantly, I'm sure Jack Smith's going through the same thing. Oh no, here's another whole, massive truckload of stuff. Do we take it on? What do we do? But I think she's happy with where it's at, which is the main question. It hasn't been that easy. I think she's had her own issues with it, and I think sometimes she'd be fantasizing about having a Mai Tai in Hawaii, and she's a bit over it. She's been at this for years, but she's confident moving forward. Fours are solid. This is the wedding card, but it's also solid foundation. She knows she's on solid ground with this. So Letitia's cool. I'm pleased about that. Now, the other intriguing thing is secretaries of states in various states have said their state laws prohibit a convicted felon from holding office. And so there's a possibility that in certain states, not a lot of them, I think there's 3 or 4, who can refuse to have him on the ballot for that reason. So let's have a look. We'll do them together. Like, is there any legs to this legal idea? I mean, if it was in the red states, they'd probably put him top of the ticket anyway. They're like that. But let's see, will there be states that refuse to have him on the ballot? Yes or no? Let's have a look. Judgment. Oh, I'm loving that. Look, I'm going to stick out my neck here in terms of a prediction. With these cards, he gets the judgment card. Okay. People waking up from their slumber and realizing, maybe it's just too much to have a convicted felon. Maybe. Hadn't thought about it before, but, maybe. So it's nonetheless the judgment card. I'll get to Biden in a sec, but on top of the judgment card, this is the Ace of Swords, pierces through the BS, not afraid of the crown, not afraid to take on. Like, how many years have we heard this stuff? No one's above the law, except all evidence to the contrary. But this is interesting in light of this question. Biden, I don't think, will wade into this debate, but he's here representing sanity. Okay. He's representing the convention of how a working democracy actually does elections. He's symbolic of that. The Electoral College should be dismantled tomorrow afternoon if America was really to move forward, but we won't go there. So he's turned up symbolically. And then these are all big cards. The King of Swords. I think this represents one or more of the states that will say no. Now, this in itself mightn't be a deal breaker. If it was a state that was already blue, it mightn't be fatal. But I'm hoping it isn't. And wouldn't that be interesting? So we have to keep our eyes on that. Now, let's go. The other thing that's happening is it was Florida and somewhere else too. Maybe Georgia, somewhere else, where what they're saying is we've redrawn the electoral maps, which we do every time to stop Black people having a vote. And we've always done this, so we're doing it again. And twice now, 2 courts in different states, Florida and the other state. Please let me know in the comments which other state I'm talking about here. I think it's Georgia. You know, this is progress. They're saying, no, you can't do this. This is disenfranchising people. Well, hello, yoo-hoo. Look, it's about time the legal eagles of America, and we've seen the best of them on MSNBC and everything else, but it's time they started acting in the interests of keeping American democracy above water, please. So that's an important one to watch. Now, okay, I want to look at Peter Navarro here, because as you're aware, I'm sure he was Mr. Tough Guy and he refused to appear for the subpoena. He's now been found in breach of that, contempt of Congress. The penalty is up to 2 years jail and up to $200,000 fine. I want to know what's going to happen to Peter Navarro. Are they going to send a message, or are they going to kowtow to these belligerent idiots? What's going to happen with Peter Navarro? Have a look. Oh, 2 of those cards turned up. I was shuffling the whole time I was talking. It's always interesting when that happens. Like when I pick the cards up after a spread, I separate them in different parts of the pack, and then I'm always having a rave and a digression. Shuffle, 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 and here 2 of them have turned up. So Peter Navarro, there's a message coming for Peter Navarro. Ding, ding. Okay, Pentacles. Money, he could get a fine. I'd be very disappointed if it's only a fine. But Pentacles also represents values. Symbolically, they're saying, this is bad behavior. To let him get away with it is a problem, right? It's a problem. But it's a 10, and 10s in tarot are the end of a cycle onto a new cycle. I think he's tried everything he can. He'll still, no doubt, try and take it further and blah, blah, blah. But it's like his goose is cooked here. There's a celebration. There's happy families. I'm hoping that this is happy families for the Dems, and that he gets some sort of serious thing of consequence. I don't think we're going to see the result soon, like so much of this stuff. He will challenge, but I don't think he'll be successful. But that'll spin it out. He'll stay out of jail another 6 months or a year or something while that's going on. Really, there needs to be an express lane, doesn't there? I mean, when you've done more than 27 crimes, let's say you go in the express lane. I mean, something, please. Okay, so, all right. Now, I want to point out something too before I forget. Nikki Haley's turned up again in all this, at the debate and other things. And 2 of my viewers reminded me that I'd done a video on her a few years back. And I thought, yeah, that's right, I did. It was way back. Turns out it was 5 years ago. When I first started YouTube, she was one of the first people I read on. And it was before, because I had so few viewers in those days, I couldn't monetize, and I hadn't thought about ads or monetizing. So I can say what I really think. Oh, so it's almost worth visiting for that alone. So it's from 2017, and you can find out there exactly what I think about Nikki Haley. And the video is called The Girl Scout with an Uzi. So I hope that captures your attention. So in the meantime, bye-bye from me, spring in Australia, and I'll see you in a few days. The next video will be shorter than time-wise. Normally it's 4 days. It'll be in 2 days because I want to do it before I start the trip. Love you guys. Comment your little hearts out. Love, love, love. Bye now. Ciao.